In the automotive industry, Amelia Hartford's name has come to represent quickness, creativity, and breaking down obstacles. She has made a name for herself as a builder, professional driver, creator, and actress. She is well known for her record-breaking creations, which include the quickest C8 Corvette in the world and a 2,000-horsepower Nissan Zeed. However, there is a far more nuanced reality hidden behind the viral videos, the intense builds, and the seemingly ideal career. Today we explore why Amelia Hartford is sometimes referred to as the most hated car influencer, and look into the ugly side of her tale that no one discusses. From tragedy to triumph, Amelia Hartford's life drastically changed at the age of 16. Words could not fill the void left by a father's suicide. When a teen experiences that kind of loss, they frequently look for something stable and coherent once more. That something turned into cars for Amelia Hartford. At first glance, that seems like a strange choice: grease, loud engines, and long garage hours. However, healing can occasionally be found in unexpected places. While the pain persisted, a new focus emerged. Relocating to Indiana brought with it a new atmosphere of shared passion, late-night builds, and auto enthusiasts. Something significant was provided by that area. A sense of belonging, not instant healing or flawless comfort. And to be honest, in situations like that, what matters more than feeling understood, even if you don't say much? Over time, cars evolved beyond just metal and wheels. Automobiles became the norm. Cars were given a new purpose. An engine needed to be fixed. A project had to be completed. There was always something that needed to be done. There was less space for overwhelming thoughts because of that ongoing demand. And maybe it was part of the charm. When hands stay occupied, does pain feel a bit quieter? Time passed, and that passion did not stay disguised. Social media became a window into that world. Amelia Hartford started sharing moments online. Not polished highlights, but real situations. A failed build here, a long night there, oil-stained hands, frustration, trial and error. Nothing filtered to look perfect, and that honesty stood out instantly. Many internet artists choose to show only success. Perfect autos, tidy garages, seamless results. Amelia Hartford chose a different course. Broken portions showed up on camera. Mistakes stayed obvious. The content began to include setbacks. That method created an interesting challenge. Why is imperfection more relatable to humans than perfection? Growth came organically. An audience started paying attention not just to cars, but to authenticity. Viewers did not just see builds. Viewers witnessed effort. Viewers witnessed tenacity. Most significantly, viewers witnessed someone persevering. People are drawn to that kind of energy. Who doesn't respect someone who overcomes obstacles in real time, after all? However, there is a hidden cost to being honest. At first, sharing everything seems liberating. No pretending, no secrets. However, boundaries can be blurred by constant openness. Personal hardships cease to be private affairs. Public discussions are sparked by personal struggles. Every error becomes a topic for comments from strangers. Every challenging day becomes a subject for analysis by others. Another question is raised by that kind of exposure. Where does personal life end and public image begin? That line becomes more difficult to see for someone who is building their brand around authenticity. Honesty is expected by fans. Updates are expected by followers. An audience accustomed to continuous sharing may even feel let down by silence. Pressure builds quietly in that space. A need to stay real while also maintaining personal peace generates stress. Too much sharing invites judgment. Too little sharing risks losing connection. Finding equilibrium becomes a struggle of its own. Despite everything, Amelia Hartford continued forward. Cars remained vital, not just as content, but as grounding force. A garage nevertheless offered concentration. A construction still required patience. A project still deserved attention. And maybe that consistency helped preserve stability when everything else felt unexpected. Looking at that voyage, one thing becomes evident. Passion sometimes emerges from anguish, not in a nice or planned way, but in a way that gives direction when direction is lost. Cars did not erase loss. Cars did not fix everything, but automobiles gave structure, camaraderie, and a feeling of identity. And really, isn't that what most people search for after something life-changing? Something steady to hold on to, something that makes each day feel a little more manageable when everything else feels uncertain? But what happens when that search doesn't bring comfort, and instead, it slowly begins to build tension from within? Unnoticed at first, that silent weight begins to accumulate until it is impossible to ignore. Hold on, because what follows will be revealed. The pressure. Cooker internet fame and ongoing content demands have shaped Amelia's career within a very demanding system. Building a fast car or completing a project is not the end of work. Filming, editing, posting, responding to comments, monitoring performance, and making plans for the future are all ongoing tasks. A personal passion develops into a successful business venture. There is pressure to perform with every move. Every choice needs to be noticed. Growth slows in the absence of attention. Income declines in the absence of growth. There is never much relaxation in that type of cycle. How can someone maintain that pace for an extended period of time? Check out Amelia's Chevrolet Corvette C8. Early plans sounded simple. A clean, stock setup seemed enough at first. That idea did not last. The project kept growing. More power became necessary. Bigger goals replaced smaller ones. Soon, a twin-turbo setup entered the picture. Power surged to roughly 1,200 horsepower. That kind of performance does not come easy. Parts fail, engines blow. Unexpected problems show up. Instead of hiding challenges, everything gets captured and posted online. Each breakdown develops into a video. Each rebuild becomes another episode. Every setback becomes content. Isn't that an odd circumstance, when failure also becomes success in a different way? This pattern does not happen by coincidence. Internet platforms incentivize frequent activity. Posting once in a while does not work anymore. Regular updates keep attention alive. More views provide more visibility. Increased visibility increases the pressure to go larger the next time. Projects are pushed over their initial boundaries by that pressure. Seldom does a basic build remain simple. Bigger turbos, higher horsepower, faster times. That turns into the standard. An audience will find anything less impressive once they are accustomed to extreme outcomes. In that setting, how can one slow down without being irrelevant? Consider another example with Amelia's Nissan Z project. Power outputs exceeded 2,000 horsepower. The quarter-mile time decreased to 7.1 miles per hour in 75 seconds. Such numbers are indicative of serious racing machines. It takes risk, accuracy, and ongoing testing to reach that level. Every run has the potential to be dangerous. Any change could result in success or failure. However, every moment has a different function. Everything is captured by cameras. Viewers anticipate developments. Comments call for quicker outcomes. The pressure increases once more. At that time, racing becomes more than competition. Racing becomes performance for an audience. Where does passion end and obligation begin? This type of setting produces an endless loop. Construct anything quickly, discuss the outcomes, attract attention, put pressure on yourself. Create something more quickly. Do it again. That circle gets tighter with time. Rest becomes infrequent. Errors become more expensive. Minor mistakes become public debates. On the internet, personal struggles are made public. Criticism comes fast. Praise is also given, although it frequently requires ongoing progress. When progress slows down, what happens? When energy levels fall, what happens? Even in the never-sleeping digital world, human limitations still remain. Quietly, fatigue grows. Focus is weakened by long hours, strict deadlines, and unrelenting demands. Errors occur as concentration wanes. Reactions increase when errors are made in public. Online environments can be both cruel and encouraging. One poor decision can spark a plethora of viewpoints. Every comment area turns becomes a venue for criticism. Is there an algorithm that pauses for mental health? Is slowing down rewarded by any system? That algorithm never stops searching for interaction. More views, clicks, and responses. That calculation does not take personal feelings into account. Performance is all that counts. Numbers are all that matter. This leads to a difficult reality. Maintaining visibility is essential for success. Continuous output is necessary to be visible. No one can continuously provide the energy required for constant output without strain. Amelia's path demonstrates the coexistence of strain and excitement. Opportunities are brought about by fast autos, record-breaking runs, and rapid internet growth. Weight is also produced by constant demand. It begins to feel less like a dream and more like a never-ending race to balance passion, business, and personal well-being, especially as expectations continue to rise, and each victory just seems to call for an even greater one. What was once thrilling gradually transforms into pressure that never truly goes away. A quiet inquiry that is impossible to ignore for very long starts to linger in the background somewhere in the thick of all that noise. Before something needs to give, how long